Welcome. Thank you guys so much for coming today to meet the teacher. I'm so excited to start this journey with you and your child. It's a total partnership, and I know it's a little scary at first, but don't worry, we've been doing this for a really long time. This is my 17th year of teaching, my 11th year here at Middle Creek, and I am super excited to have your child in my class this year. Our goals for our open house today are to help you understand how to work with your child and what they'll be doing throughout the school year. It's a lot different from when I went to kindergarten and probably from even when you went to kindergarten. I also want to explain expectations in kindergarten. I want to share some information on how you can support your child's learning at home. During our literacy block, your child will participate in a guided reading group. This is a very small group of children, usually between 3 and 4, and they're going to come and meet with me or my instructional TA. And we're going to work on books on their levels. We're going to work on sight words, writing, all that stuff to support them in their reading development. It gives them the opportunity to receive individualized instructions on the reading concepts that we're covering for that week. Common Core reading expectations in kindergarten are as follows. The beginning of the year, you're going to want to be at print concepts and reading behaviors, and I'm going to show you an example of that in just a minute. Middle of the year, they're going to want to be at a level C, and end of the year, a level D. So print concepts, this is the very first stages of reading. They're going to want to point to the front of the book. You're going to want to show them, let me show you this, the back of the book. You're going to want to have them say, where's the title, and have them point to it. And then they're going to want to know, where is the first page that I'm going to start reading my story? There's the first word. Have them point to the first word on the page. And the last word. Have them find punctuation. All that good stuff, knowing their way around the book. Because before we can begin reading the book, we got to understand the parts of the book. Just like when you're cooking or working on a car, you're going to want to know that. And don't be alarmed by this. When you do your take-home book program, which will be coming home in this cute little packet here with your child's name on it, there's going to be a piece of paper in here, and it's going to have all of these print concepts on the back and a book to match for you to practice with your child. Once they have mastered this level of reading, I will send home another card with you for their next book level, and it will have new tasks on the back for it. And if at any point throughout the year you're like, oh my gosh, what does that mean? What do you want me to do? Please don't hesitate to call me, email me, or we can set up a conference and I can definitely show you in person how to do those different skills with your child. All right, let's go on to the next level. The next level is an example of a book C. So this is once we get your child's past print concepts, we now know sight words, we're finger pointing to all the words. This is around December, January where your child needs to be. So you'll start to see it's heavily sight word based. There are a few words right here where we have to use the first letter and match it to a picture. So this is where we're progressing towards. So not only do we have the take-home book program to help support that for you, we also have an online program called Raz Kids that we're going to be using that I will set to your child's level based on the beginning of the year assessments. And as they progress, it'll just move them up to the next one. And it'll also have a retell portion to the story. So not only do I want your child to be able to read the story, I want them also to have that comprehension piece and be able to tell me what the story was about, be able to make connections to it. And let me show you an example of what a level D looks like. So this is at the end of the year in June. I want them to be able to read something that looks like this. And we not only have to be able to read narrative stories, but we have to read informational stories. And we will be working on all of our reading strategies. You're going to hear about Stretchy the Snake and Chunky Monkey and all the cool different strategies that we have in place. And then you might be thinking, oh no, what weeks are these going to be on? Have no fear. There's a newsletter that I will be sending out every week in Seesaw, and I'll explain that in just a minute. All right, the evolution of your child's writing. So not only do we do reading in school, but we do writing. And in our classroom, we do a whole group lesson, and about 3 days a week, most weeks, depending on what type of writing we're doing, we pull your child into a small group with about 4 or 5 other children, and we work on their writing level. This year they will be writing narrative stories, they will be writing informational stories, and opinion stories. You're thinking, oh my, but don't worry, we have it all set up in a little scripted way. Drawings are a super important part of your child's writing. As children begin to write, they move through different stages. We encourage children to add to their writing or to their picture that they draw at school. We ask them what they have written about in their picture, and then we tell them something that they might add to it. So if they drew a picture of a fish, we might say, where is your fish? And they'll say a fish tank. And we might draw the whole fish tank and then put rocks in it and pebbles and all sorts of cool stuff. We also start learning how to use appropriate colors in our pictures. Maybe when they're drawing a picture of you, you're purple, and we'll talk about how we're all a tone of brown, or the sky isn't purple or blue. We'll talk about the appropriate colors that we will use with that. Our main goal is to encourage your child to write and to start to get that sense of writing. Having them write out a check or a grocery list, all those important things. And I'll show you some typical range. So this is what it might look like at the beginning of the school year, right now at this very moment. Your child might be scribbling. That is fine. They're getting the idea that their pencil actually has meaning, and they're trying to write something on that piece of paper to connect it to their picture. Your child might actually be writing some words. That's great too. Or they might have a combination of some letters and pictures together. But they know that when they put that down on the paper that it means something. This is what it's going to look like at the end of the year, which I think is super impressive. And I just came from that a week ago, and it blows my mind every single year. Even though I've been doing this for 16 years, it still blows my mind that they go from that beginning stage to the end stage. But that's where the take-home book program and your support at home is going to be super integral to get us to that end piece. And they can do it. When we set the bar up here, those kindergartners rise right up to it, and we go well beyond what you ever would imagine that they would be able to do. Conferences. I love meeting with you guys. First quarter conferences will be at the end of first quarter. In third quarter, we do something really cool. We do student-led conferences where the students actually share their learning with you and guide you through the conference, and they take ownership for their learning, which is so awesome. You might be thinking, a kindergarten? Oh, it is so awesome. This is our 4th year we've been doing it, which is, it's amazing. Kindergartners will get report cards at the end of each quarter. That's kind of a guide. But lucky for you, I do an academic and behavior report every single week where you're going to see where your child needs to work on certain skills every week. I'm going to check on if they're on grade level, below grade level. I'm going to talk to you about their behavior in there, and then you're going to sign it and return it back in their folder. So you're always going to know in Mrs. Harward's class where your child is at every single point of the year. Every 5 weeks, you're going to receive an interim report, which is based on our report cards, and you'll get a formal sheet that comes home and tells you the grades that they're going to have. And specialists will only be giving your child a grade 2nd and 4th quarter, so those will not appear in 1st and 3rd quarter. BYOD, super excited. This is my 2nd year doing BYOD. I was one of the pilot classrooms to start it. This means bring your own device to school. Totally voluntary. You do not have to send an iPad or a Kindle or a Chromebook to school, but if you choose to, we're going to have a super cool workshop that you get to come into with your child, and we're going to learn how to use that device for educational purposes in your classroom. In order for your child to be able to participate with this, you'll have to attend my mini workshop after school to help them get started, and you will have to fill out a permission slip, which will be coming out shortly to you. In Seesaw, so excited, we dabbled with this last year. The big push in Wake County is for digital portfolios, and kindergartners can do it. Using our super cool iPad, they will push the Seesaw app on here, and there are lots of different apps. They can take photos of their work. We will learn how to video. We even learn how to use the drawing link, and the camera roll as well. And what happens is it's almost like an Instagram feed. So if your child takes a picture of their work at a pocket chart, all of a sudden it's going to go to your feed, and you're going to be like, oh, cool, look what they did today at school. Because we send home Tuesday folders every week with their work, but there's a lot of work that we do in school that does not go home on a pencil and paper. So this is a great way for you to see what we're doing at school. I also post everything to this. So you're going to see your child's digital portfolio. I'm going to do class notes. I might post what we're doing for a school project, and I will be putting your child's pictures on there as well. This is a very secure site, so you're going to be the only one that will get to see those photos of your personal child. There will be a note going home, and you will have to sign up for this. Like I said, I'm going to be using this as almost like our classroom website and your student's portfolio at the same time. All my newsletters will be posted here, and all important information as well. Remind 101, this worked out super last year because I know we're all busy. Going through notes and all that stuff gets a little crazy. There's a Remind 101 app that will come directly to your phone, and it beeps, and it's just a really quick reminder that's going to tell you, oh, bring your sneakers today. Oh, you forgot your library book. Oh, we have field day tomorrow. Super, super quick. please be sure to sign up when you get that information sheet at home. That's going to help us to get started on getting a great line of communication out to you. Like most parents know that have had me before, I am the over communicator, so you'll probably get more information than you've ever wanted to know. But I figure the more information I can give you, you can kind of decide what works for you and what doesn't. Pitch what you don't need and keep what you do need. Classroom incentives. A child that is caught being a good listener, following directions, being kind to their friends, will earn a token. Every classroom does a different thing. In our classroom, we actually get coupons, which are super cool. You'll probably be like, what? They're bringing their stuffed animal? They get to bring a small stuffed animal for one of their coupons. They get to wear slippers in the classroom. They get to sit next to a friend at lunch. We do all sorts of really super cool coupons. These coupons are going to be based on their dojo points. So inside their folder, there is going to be a piece of paper with the month at the top. This one says May. It's going to give you a date in the special that we have. And then there's a little tiny box down here based on how many days in the month. You're going to sign that box once you've gone into dojo and checked their behavior for the week. Their behavior, there are great choices. So 1 through 5 are all the awesome things that they did in the classroom. And 6 through 10 might be some things that we need to work on. They're learning how to be a kindergartner. So don't get upset if they get a 6 through 11. Those are just things that we're working on, and we're trying to bridge that gap. So if you guys see, oh my gosh, he didn't keep his hands to himself, no worries. Sit down, talk to little Billy and say, hey Billy, what was happening today? How can we work on that tomorrow? We're always talking to the children about what was the behavior, how can we change it and make it better, and then putting it into practice. And if you guys can help us reinforce that at home, that would be super awesome. And you're going to be able to see throughout the day on your Dojo app on your phone, which I think is so cool. Oh my gosh, they just followed directions. Oh, they just helped a friend tie their shoe. All this really cool stuff. And it gives you really great feedback. I'm also able, and my instructional TA is also able to push on it and write a note to explain anything that we have to as well. That's going to be something else that you need to sign up for as well. Okay, daily folders. It is going to be a clear folder. Might be red, might be green, might be blue. It is a clear plastic folder. I love these. They have a snap. Nothing comes out of it. This is a super important folder. Everything stays in this folder. Their behavior report stays in here. If you have a lunch money, it's going to stay in here. Field trip money, a note and change in transportation. Please put it in this folder. We do not, I repeat, we do not go through your child's backpack. We have so many kids. That's the piece of the independence that we want to instill in them. So please start practicing how to take that out. And if you guys look over here, there is a bin. In this, every morning they're going to come put their daily folder in here. They'll put their take-home book program in here. And then we will go through the folders throughout the day and get everything in place. And we will stuff important pieces of paper. So look in here every night for something from us. Like this one's talking about field day. You're going to want to make sure that you look in there because there's some really super cool stuff from the parents. Okay, daily notes, all this stuff. Tuesday folders, you're going to get this every Tuesday. And I think this is so cool. I really have enjoyed doing this with my son. Every Tuesday he gets home and I'm like, oh, what's in here? And you get to look at all of your child's work that they've done throughout the week. And sit down. The kids love sharing out. And if you see some, we try to grade it so that you can see where their errors are and where you can support them at home. So even if they get something wrong, that's the area that you need to focus on for their work. And then this gets returned on Wednesday, emptied out, and then we will show them their specific spot to put it. Activity calendar. I'm going to be posting this on Seesaw. Again, completely optional, but it is a calendar where we put a really cool activity that supports our curriculum for every day and expectations. We want to reinforce what we're doing here in the classroom. A lot of parents have chosen to use this over track out. They're fun activities, like write your sight words and sidewalk chalk outside. Doing really cool stuff. So be sure to look for that. That'll be in your feed on Seesaw for the activities. You are encouraged to complete at least 3 activities per week if you wish. And this is an example of what one of them looks like. Like practice your child's lunch card number orally and practice it typing on the computer. That lunch number they're going to have from here till they graduate high school. It'll log them into computers, it'll get them lunch card accounts, all that cool stuff. Again, this will be posted on Seesaw. Take home book program. which I think I showed you just a little bit ago. This is super cool. This is designed to strengthen your child's writing and reading at their own level. If your child's reading at a level E, then they're going to have a level E packet and book inside of here. If your child's still at print concepts, we'll have a print concepts. We encourage you to do this at least a couple times a week in conjunction with Raz Kids. It is a fabulous way to support your child's reading. These books that we have access to are on your child's level. Sometimes at the library it's a little difficult to find the very beginning stage books for your child. So they're going to want to bring it. There's a log sheet in here where you get to write down the book title for us, the date, and your signature. And that just tries to help us keep track of what books they've read or whether they need a new book at the time. If we happen to send home the same book, we're really sorry. We try to do our absolute best to give you a new book. Just reread it again, because I always tell kids books are more than awesome to read more than one time. Okay, so the goal is to read it every 2 times. Snack time. We do have a very small snack time every day. We ask you to send in a super healthy snack for the kids to help them with their brain growth and to get them started and on their way to learning again. We do ask, what you might have seen our orientation video, for water. We do have 6-legged little creatures that love to live around here, and water definitely helps us with that as well. We do ask that that's packed in 2 separate containers, because when they go to lunch, they're like, oh, look at all this lunch food, and then they end up eating it. And due to allergies and severe allergies that we have in our building, I do not provide any snacks in the classroom. So I'll have to say, oh, darn, I'm so sorry you missed that. That's going to be one of their procedures in the morning, is to unpack their lunch and their snack in their cubby. They have their own section in their cubby, okay? And please make sure that's separate. Birthdays. We love to celebrate birthdays. And if you want to send in cupcakes for your child's birthday, or a cookie, or we've had parents that have sent in super healthy fruit and some other options, please contact me a couple days before in advance, just so I know to schedule that into our classroom day. All birthday treats have to be store-bought. That is a Wake County Public School policy. Also, another huge policy, which probably is completely different from preschool, we are not allowed to, by Wake County policy, pass out any birthday party invitations. That's why it's super important. There's a sheet that's going home with you. Inside this super cool, whoa, and it all fell down, but that's okay. Inside this super cool packet, there's permission to be part of our classroom directory. If you want to have play dates, if you want to go to birthday parties, fill out that classroom directory. That gives you permission to send your information out to another parent. If you're not on the classroom directory, I can't give it to you, another person, your information. That whole list will be compiled by the room parents and sent home to you, and that's what you can use for checkout play dates or birthday party invitations as well. And I would love if you can get involved. We have field trips coming up. We have Lunch Bunch, which is going to be super exciting. If you have a child that's already been in Wake County Public Schools last year and you're already registered volunteer, you have till October to renew your volunteer status. But if you're brand new to Middle Creek, we have some computers set up on the side of the classroom, and then there's also one in the front office. It is an intranet thing, so you do have to be here at school to be able to register. It does take a few weeks to get registered, so I do highly encourage you, if you think anytime throughout the school year that you might ever want to volunteer, I would go ahead and sign up for it now. Even grandparents and all those sorts of things. Super great opportunity to get in here to the classrooms. Lunch Bunch and Book and Bite is also a very special time when you get to come in and read to a small group, 4 to 6 children. Your child will obviously be included in on that. The groups are rotated so that every child has a chance to participate. Please remember, you must be a cleared volunteer to do Lunch Bunch and Book and Bite, okay? And Lunch Bunch and Book and Bite is a great way, even if you're a working parent, just to come in over your lunchtime to participate with some students, okay? So if you think you're going to do that, definitely hop onto the volunteer website. Absences. You know what? Sometimes your kid's going to be absent. We totally get it. They get sick, all that good stuff. Please make sure that you call the front office, 773-9555, and please let them know that your child is out. Or you're going to get a phone call from Wake County saying, your child is absent today from school, and then that'd be unexcused absent. The next day they come in, if you could just send in a handwritten note, so-and-so was out for a doctor's appointment, that'll be excused, or so-and-so had a stomach ache, whatever the case. Also, please remember, if your child does have a fever, we will be calling you, or if they vomit or throw up here at school, they will be called and they have to go home. And let's see, if your child is tardy, you need to stop by the front office. You have to walk your child in from their car and sign them in the front office. You can't just drop them off at regular and let them come in. Make sure that you are at school by the 8 o'clock start time if you absolutely can. Buses obviously roll in when they roll in, but carpool, we start promptly at 8:30. They have a lot of unpacking to do, their folders. We have morning work, we have snacks to unpack, use the restroom, wash hands, and we want to make sure that they feel settled in by that 8:30 bell. Please check our transportation list. You'll find that at the back table, and make sure that we have the correct way that your child is going home. It really doesn't matter how your child gets here in the morning. We just need to know how to send them home the safest way. There's going to be a tag, a laminated tag soon. There's a purple tag right now, but a laminated hard tag that's going to be on your child's backpack that needs to stay on there. If your child's a bus rider, you must greet them at the bus, or the bus is going to bring them all the way back to our school. If you have a change in transportation, you must call the front office or send a note home in the daily folder. Do not email emails if I'm absent, or if there's a sub, or sometimes our computers go down. I won't have access to that, and I would send them home the regular way. If your child also chooses to join, we have after school math, science, golf, and tennis. You'll need to send a note every single week for us. We have a lot of kids to keep track of, and that friendly reminder really helps us to keep them all safe and going home the correct way. Yes, all right. That's it. Well, thank you guys so much for coming to meet the teacher. I look so forward to working with you. And like I said, if you can fill out the paperwork in this yellow folder that went home on staggered entry and return it as soon as possible, that would be super, super duper awesome. And if you ever have any questions or concerns, please don't hesitate to email me, call me, or we can set up a conference for you to come in. Thanks so much.